Hello, I am Matera Tor, group leader of the Green Thumb Group, and our group's work is entitled The Effect of Water and Light on the Plant Growth, a Gizmos Experiment. My hardworking group mates are Macjadel Batong and Sebastian Astroloyo.
For our introduction, plants like humans and animals have a set of needed requirements to grow. They need adequate light and water in order to grow, bloom, and even produce fruits. Light as well as water is needed to process of photosynthesis. It is important to know the factors that would affect the development and process of the chosen plant. If any environmental factor is less than ideal, it limits a plant's growth and or distribution. The growing plants case will investigate the growth of frozen seed tomato in terms of height and mass when exposed to 0-3 lights and 0 to 100 ml of water from day 0 to 50. As one of the most profitable crops in our country and is extensively cultivated in the world, we choose tomato as our subject. The use of fertilizer combined with compost was utilized for increase the crop yields to 13 to 16%. As compared to fertilizer alone, according to study, we are the Green Thumb group of grade 5 Apple, and we did the growing plant case in Gizmos. How about the Gizmos connection into science, math, and engineering? For science, this particular Gizmos case gave us a clear visualization on the usage or importance of light and water in growth of plants. Mathematics. Through this Gizmos, it gave us clear, engaging, and interactive way to know the mathematical relationship of the results versus the use of different variables in the case. Engineering, and with this, it can give us ideas on the possible future innovation in the delivery of water and light that will help maximize plants' growth to yield good number of crops, as well as aiming to save some resources too.
Our general scientific problem is, do varied amount of light and water affect the growth of our plant? And specifically, our questions are, how much light is needed to facilitate maximum growth in terms of height and mass? How much water is needed to reach maximal growth of the plant in terms of height and mass? Will the plant wither when exposed to no light source but with varied amount of water? The findings of this study will give the students the idea that the utilization of light and water are essentially needed for the efficient growth of the plant. And this will also give out the awareness that insufficient amount of water or light will positively or negatively affect the success of the progress of the plants. This simple study will give our country's leaders the overall insight that controlled parameters are needed by our farmers to maximize the crop productions in our country, because only certain amount of water is needed to have a healthy crop yield. With that, we can help farmers to lobby the subsidization of water supply by our dear government. And these are our hypotheses. If the plants were not given any light source, then the plant will die? No, because the tomato plant survived until day 50 with stunted growth and very pale in color. If the plants were placed under insufficient source of light as well as insufficient amount of water, then it will have stunted growth. No, the height of tomato plant under one light source increased the most. However, there is no significant gain in mass. If the plants were placed under sufficient light and water source, it will have its maximum growth. Yes, adequate light and water will produce a plant on its maximum growth.
For the methodology, we were instructed to choose one case in the Gizmos website. And here is how we go about the process. First, we logged in the Gizmos website. We input our username and password, and then to our section, and then to our name. And we choose growing plant case, and then we launch Gizmos. And as Gizmos was launched, there you will see 4 setups, and each setups were 3 light source, a container of water with 0 to 100 ml of water. Below the screen, you can choose what seeds you want to utilize. Here, we utilized tomato seeds. For this seed is one of the most profitable crops here in our country and is extensively cultivated throughout the world, according to Gourmet et al. And on each pot we placed the combination of fertilizer and compost. For it was seen in the study of Lewis, it increased crop yield to 13 to 16% versus fertilizer alone. After that, on setup 1, we provided no light at all. Setup 2, 1 light on. Setup 3, 2 lights on. And for setup 4, we set up 3 lights on. And we supplied each pot of water levels from 0 to 100 ml, and every trial it run from day 0 to 50. The height and mass were recorded every after run of each trials. The results were all tabulated and interpreted. Here are our sample tabulations. After the tedious process of simulation, we now analyze the result. In this Gizmos simulation activity, it was seen that the tomato seeds in pot 2 were given 1 light and supplied it with 60 ml of water, grew the tallest measuring 46.1 centimeters and weighed 1.7 grams. Pot 2 was the tallest, but it looked unhealthy. Stem was thin and leaves are scarce. These are the height data collected from all 4 setups. It showed that among the 4 setups, best height was seen at setup 2, light 1, and given 60 ml of water. And the tomato seed in pot 4 with 3 lights, given 70 ml of water, grew the heaviest, measuring 8.4 grams with 27.8 centimeters height. Pot 4 was the heaviest despite measuring only half of the tallest tomato plant. Pot 4 had a thick stem with abundant leaves. These are the mass data gathered in each trial run, and it was noticeable that the heaviest plant grew under 3 lights on and was given 70 ml of water. With minimal height and weight, tomato plant in pot 1 grew and did not wither. However, it had a pale, colored stem and scarce leaves, proving that sunlight or any light source is primarily needed in the growth of our crops, as well as ample amount of water with combined support from fertilizer and compost. These are the mean or average height and mass of the plant placed on 4 different setups. The plant on setup 4 had the heaviest mass, despite of having a height measuring only half of the tallest plant in setup 2. For the conclusion, we concluded that the amount of light positively affects the growth of the tomato plant with regards to mass, but its height declined as the number of lights increased. Though the ones under 3 lights had better looking stem and as well as leaves versus the ones under 1 light. However, the plants given no light but continuously supplied with water grew minimally with poor characteristics of a plant. This clearly showed that light and water are important environmental factors needed in the growth of plants. The limitation of this case are the only variables that can be manipulated are light intensity and amount of water. Extensive results may be seen if all the environmental factors are included, such as duration of light exposure, quality of light, humidity, and temperature. Performing this kind of research will greatly help develop other possible agriculture innovations that will help our economy by increasing export quality, produce, and possible save some resources. 2. Here are our references. Thank you for lending us your time.
In every pot, place an equal amount of soil, fertilizer, and compost. Place tomato plants on each. Simulate for 50 days. Zero milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. Ten milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. Twenty milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. Thirty milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. 40 milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. 50 milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. 60 milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. $70 milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. $80 milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. 90 milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days. 100 milliliters water with 0, 1, 2, and 3 lights running for 50 days.